Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. At once.
Waiting
Vehicle
order.
acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade, affirmative.
Waiting orders.
Construction options.
Reporting.
Building. Unable to comply. Building in progress. Construction
Vehicle
complete.
reporting. Affirmative.
Construction options. Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unable to comply. Building in
Yes, sir.
progress.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Building. A-bomb launch detected.
Awaiting
On
orders.
hold.
Affirmative.
Cancel.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledged.
Base is quarter.
Comrade, affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledged.
options.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Building. On hold. Building. Insufficient funds. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
On hold. Cancel. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. Cannot deploy here.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Building. On hold. Cancel. Building. On hold. Building. Unit ready.
Vehicle report.
Building.
Affirmative.
On hold. Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Comrade. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Affirmative. Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Building.
Waiting order.
Building. On hold. Cancel. Construction complete. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Awaiting orders.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
New construction
Acknowledged.
options. Building. Repairing. A-bomb launch detected. Construction complete.
Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
repaired. Our base is under attack. Repairing. Unit repaired. Building. Repairing. On hold. Cancel. Building. Unit repaired. Construction complete. Building. Repairing.
Waiting order.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Insufficient funds.
Waiting order. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Base is under attack.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. Repairing. Construction complete. Insufficient funds. Building. Repairing. Unit repaired.
Waiting order.
Insufficient
Waiting
funds.
affirmative. Yes, sir.
Insufficient funds. Repairing.
Waiting order.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Insufficient funds. Repairing. Insufficient funds. Repairing. Construction complete. Unit repaired.
Yes, sir.
Repairing.
Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. On hold. Cancel. Building.
Comrade. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building. A-bomb launch detected. Unit ready. Building. Insufficient funds. Unit
Comrade.
ready.
We have waited to
Building.
emerge from the shadows, and now we will make ourselves known.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Preparing. Preparing. Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Affirmative.
Comrade.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Yes,
Acknowledged.
sir.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Awaiting.
Orders.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged.
Agreed.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
On hold. Cancel.
Waiting order. Comrade.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes,
Acknowledged.
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack. Unit ready.
Waiting orders. At once. Affirmative course.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes,
Affirmative.
sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
Reporting. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Lost.
Affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
A-bomb launch
Waiting order.
detected.
Reporting.
Insufficient.
Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Sufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Report acknowledged.
Report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Acknowledged.
Prepare.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Waiting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Affirmative.
On hold. Building. Our base
Comrade.
is under attack.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds. Construction complete. Building. Low power.
Yes, sir.
Repair.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
A-bomb launch detected.
Affirmative.
Our base is under attack. Unit prepared. Repair. Unit
Affirmative.
prepared.
Affirmative.
Repair. Unit prepared. Repair. Unit prepared. Repair. Unit repaired. Repairing. Building. Unit repaired. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Repair.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit repaired.
Yes, sir.
Repair.
Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Waiting order.
On
Yes, sir.
hold.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Yes, sir.
Awaiting
Prepare.
orders.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Unit repaired.
Reporting.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building. Repairing.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Acknowledged.
Unit repaired. Unit ready. Building. Repair. Unit
Yes, sir.
repaired. Repair.
Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Report.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Comrade.
A-bomb.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Report acknowledged.
Yes, acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Vehicle acknowledged.
ready.
Awaiting acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Insufficient
Affirmative.
Yes,
Acknowledged.
sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Yes, acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.